Welcome back to the Coach Damon Floyd Show here on the Bear Network and on the Buzz 101.3, where games are always brought to you and interviews especially brought to you by Las Margaritas on 25th Street. We encourage you to check those folks out before the game, after the game. Las Margaritas on 25th Street. Damon, congratulations on a huge, solid win Friday night, 24-10 at Walker Valley. Not a region game, but certainly a rivalry game, a community game that everybody in the world seemed to be at Friday night. A huge, huge crowd. And I thought we played solid offense, defense, all the way around Friday night.
Yeah, it was a good win. I mean, anytime you beat a rival, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 point. You just want to get the win. So we had a lot of things that, it was no secret going in the game that Aiden was banged up on his ankle. And, I think he only got tackled 2 times, or maybe even touched 2 times, so that was huge. And I said before the game to our team that if we're going to win this game, it's got to be done at the line of scrimmage, meaning our offensive line has to protect that. He can't drop back there and have to scramble around throw the ball a lot. So we really, put a lot on them this week or last week, and Jackson Wilson carried the load. So I thought that was a huge advantage for us, up front. And then I thought defensive line played really well. They do a lot of personnel packages that you have to change, and we were trying to match. At the beginning of the game, they're changing, we're changing. But we felt like when they got in their spread that we felt like we had an advantage up front. So because there was a couple different blitz packages that we had that felt were pretty good. And overall good win. Still making some mistakes, but we did improve from the first game, so that was good to see.
How did you like playing on the turf? Because that's exactly the turf that you're going to be playing on here when we open our home season.
We've played on a lot of turf fields, and honestly, Cleveland was always the nicest field that we'd played on up until Friday night. And, it is the same field that we're going to have. So I think really this area, us, Cleveland, Walker Valley, have the nicest turf fields that we've ever played on, and we've played on, quite a few. Everybody in our region has turf. So, it's nice. It's awesome to have first-class facilities like that, and that obviously enhances not only Walker Valley, but our facilities as well.
Well, and if you've been seen it lately on social media, wherever, it's coming along really nicely. The whole field just about is covered. And here again, I will mention, please stay away and let them get the job finished up. They don't need anybody interfering. And you can't come on school property anyway during school hours because of security reasons. But just follow us on social media there, folks. We have some cleanup work to do a little bit. I mean, the special teams, we kick long, they'd run it back too far, for what we want to do. Sort of went to a pooch kick type play, and they could return it to the 35 or so, but they couldn't return it. Couldn't break it, I guess, is what I'm looking at. That seemed to change as the game went on. But I want to talk about, before we get to offense, I want to talk about that stuff. On defense, salute sophomore Rodney Williams, 9 tackles to lead the team, 5 solo, 4 assists, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. His twin brother Tito had a pretty good game too.
AJ's his twin brother. Tito.
AJ. I'm sorry. AJ. Tito, the other kid.
Williams.
We got too many Williamses, folks. He had 6 tackles, 3 and 3, and a tackle for loss. But Landon Price, Josh Helson, Marcus Gorey, Knox Watson, truly a team effort. They were scrambling after a quarterback all night long. And out of all those guys I mentioned, I think Gronk's the only senior, Josh. He's the only senior out of that whole group.
Blake and Gronk. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Blake is. I'm sorry, Blake is too. But man, what a group of team effort. We had that one drive. They drove it pretty good, and they got a field goal. But from that point on, they were scrambling.
Yeah, and we knew that their heavy, what we call it, with their twins package, was going to give us a little bit of problems just because of the quarterback run. We talked about that last week, how when you run the quarterback, you gain a little bit of an advantage there. So obviously you can go either side, but and our kids honestly were not lining up correctly at first. Once we got it fixed after the first drive, I felt like the second half they did have one drive there. We probably got a little tired. They had something to do with it. I get it, but we bowled our back quite a few times. We put ourselves in bad situations on special teams with the bad snap on the punt, and then the field goal, the kick we didn't recover. So. You don't like those 2 mistakes happening. So to get away with the win on giving those Walker Valley short field was a big thing. Our defense really bowled their back. The guys you mentioned, we really played pretty good team defense. And you talk about Rodney. He started 4 or 5 games last year as a freshman at middle linebacker. That's hard to do at our level. And now he's just a sophomore. So really excited about his future and a lot of the guys that you mentioned.
And another young guy, sophomore, Jackson Wilson. My goodness. We had him for 188 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing, 5 receptions for another touchdown. He punted for you. He was on the kick return team. He played defensive backfield. I mean, good grief. He was on the field an awful lot. Probably too much.
Yeah, and we talked about this post game is what he did on Friday night, the tough, hard-nosed runs, breaking stuff. That's what he does every day in the weight room in off-season. He's one of our hardest workers. He loves the game of football. He's a physical kid, so I was happy. We always talk to him about reaping what you sow, and he definitely reaped what he sowed. Now, he will be the first one to admit the offensive line had a lot to do with that.
Yes.
And there was some holes to run through, but he also broke a lot of tackles, and that's what it is. It's a physical sport, so usually, if you're the toughest team, you got a chance to have some success. So it was good to see both our offensive line and Jackson really reap what they sowed in the offseason, or some of them for 4 years, Jackson for 1. So happy for that success. And we were really, really excited that Aiden was able to just hand it off and not run. Because honestly, Monday, Tuesday, last week, even Wednesday, he could not even jog on it.
Really?
So it was pretty banged up. Now the good thing is he's back to pretty close to 100%.
Well, that's great. And I was going to mention your offensive line because Jackson Wilson, like you say, he's the first to tell you, hey, I don't get a yard if the line ain't blocking some holes and letting me get started and find a crease in there. And then he is so strong, though. I mean, I can't tell you how many times he just kept breaking tackles over and over and over there. And I got to mention Taylor Dugan, first half. I mean, he caught 3, 4, 5 passes, always for first downs. Kept those sticks moving, kept that first drive going, and and he's just a junior.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of young guys like him.
Well, I know a lot of people question, why do we not throw it to this guy? Why are you not running this route? Well, a lot of that is dictated on what the defense is giving us.
Right.
If you watch Brainerd game, after Marcus's first touchdown, they started doubling. Well, they were leaning their coverage towards Marcus Friday, which left Dugan single receiver. And, they were playing pretty far off of him, so they were giving it to us. You got to give what the defense takes you. Later on, they switched and put another player on Taylor, which was probably a better matchup for them, but it also opened up some other things. So I thought Coach Burkhart and offensive staff did a really good job of attacking what Walker Valley was giving us.
Youngster, sophomore, Marcus Goree, another interception, playing both ways, defense and offense. I mean, I just can't talk about the future now. I don't talk about the future. We talk about the dirty now and now rather than pie in the sky there. And what about the Bear Nation? I'm telling you, they showed up, and you commented to them on a post-game interview about the support, and it was great up there.
Well, and they've always been that way, and we really appreciate their support. I think our players, they know what kind of support we give.
They went over to the stands when the game was over to salute them.
And I didn't tell them to do that. They did that on their own. But I'm telling you, when you're on the sidelines, you can hear that, and that gives you a lift. When we have the crowd behind us, and we'd rather be playing at Bear Stadium, but even when we go on the road, our student section's awesome, and Lindsey Bell does a great job of kind of organizing that. But Luke Neighbors, our student section leader, he does a great job. So we're all in this thing together. The players are on the field, of course, coaches on the sidelines, student section in the stands, bands playing, so cheerleaders. We're all in it together.
Yeah, that's what we call it, the Bear Nation, folks. We're going to take a break right now here on the BCHS Bear Network and for Buzz 101.3. We'll return. We'll look ahead at the game Friday night with Cleveland High School. Back here in Studio H12, Bradley Central High School, we've talked about the past game. We're going to be talking about the upcoming game. Don't have to say anything. Goodness gracious. Cleveland High School, what more do you have to say? It's a rivalry game. It's our third straight road game. It's a first region game. And, Coach, if you've said this many, many a time, if you can't get up to play Cleveland High School, then you don't even need to be on the team, I guess,
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's a very, very intense rival. It's a little different, playing Walker Valley the week before. We've never done this before, so you kind of got to catch your breath and get ready to go again. But, we've not played rivals back-to-back like this, but we've played a lot of tough opponents back-to-back. So it's a long football season, and it's a grind, so Cleveland happens to be the next opponent. They had a tough game last week against McMinn.
Come behind to win it in fourth.
Yeah, so they're dealing with the same stuff we're dealing with. And, it is what it is. Friday night will be a fun game.
And playing on their field with a 6-game winning streak that we have and a 6-game losing streak for the Raiders, they're going to be out for revenge there. It's always emotional and tension filled and all that. Building up to that game, it'll be a great, great game, of course. And the importance is, you always say, hey, it's our most important game because it's our next game, and this is a region game, so that even ups it a little bit more there. Is this your typical Raider team? I mean, do you see speed to burn like they have a lot of times? They got some of the best receivers in the state of Tennessee. No doubt about that. Nobody can argue with that. But
they're very explosive offensively, and probably more senior laden than they were the past couple of years. Well, there's not probably, they are. They're more senior laden. They've got a lot of guys that's played a lot of football. Obviously, it starts with Tito Boyd. I mean, that kid's tough. I know he's a state championship wrestler. If you don't slow down the run game, obviously Destin's out there single covered. I mean, so we have got to have a DB step up and be able to, And I've told our DBs, look, nobody's going to just shut him down. He's going to make some catches. You can't get frustrated when that happens. We understand that, but it's kind of like pick your poison. You load the box and try to slow down Tito, or you play coverage over Destin, and so I don't know. We're still working on that game plan to try to figure it out because they're really good up front. They got a lot of guys. I think most of them are seniors on the offensive line, and then you got Drew Lambert, who not only can throw the ball, he can run the ball. So. And then Michael Jordan on the outside, Brian Beard. There's a Tate O'Brien. Tate O'Brien's a really good football player. He has really improved, and he's one that plays both sides of the ball. So, like I mentioned, they got a lot of seniors that do a lot of good things. They're going to be a tough football team. I know they want this. Then you had Leo in the middle linebacker. I think he had 16 tackles last week.
Wow.
And he is a man. So, when we're on offense, we have got to do a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage, and then we got to know where Leo is.
Well, it sounds like their offense is just almost unstoppable, and I guess our defensive coordinator's going to have to figure. Oh, wait a minute, you're the defensive coordinator.
Not this week. Not this week. I'll let somebody else call it.
You guys going to have to figure that out. Well, I think we'll have a great crowd. The weather looks like it's going to clear off, and with Ida, the remnants of Ida right now, pounding rain down on us here. We're filming this on Tuesday, but do you have to go inside to practice in the gym again, I guess?
Well, we went ahead and looked at the weather, obviously, and knew this was coming, so we went ahead and practiced this morning before school.
Oh, okay.
We knew there would be a good chance that maybe we don't even get to have the option to practice after school on Tuesday. So we practiced before school this morning, and it looks like Wednesday and Thursday we'll be able to go outside and get some more practice time in before Friday.
Well, like we said earlier, the football field is coming along extremely nicely. We encourage everybody to wait and come see it on the 5th game of the year. That'd be the Hardin Valor home game. That's also going to be homecoming that night for us. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. Some very, very special ceremonies lined up for the 6:30 hour, about 30 minutes prior to the game there. We'd like to thank you again for being here this week. Congratulations on last week's win, 24-10. We'd like to get another win over a region game, a rival and a region game here. And we'd like to thank Equity Title for their continued support of Bradley Central football, and also Los Margaritas on 25th Street. Until next time, and on the BCHS Bear Network, YouTube, and Twitter, where you can see all these interviews, this is Gary Ormby saying so long for now. God bless, and go Bears.